Heyo guys, what's up and welcome back to Two Toe Tags Metal Reviews, and today we got our final review of When the World Becomes Undone by a pale horse named Death. So after a week of listening to this album non-stop, Vile, what are your thoughts of this album?
Don't love it, but don't hate it. This album felt very kind of in the middle for me. I did enjoy listening to it, but I was never really that into it. It never really grabbed me like I want an album to grab me. Some highlights of the album are, there's a couple tracks. The title track, which is track number 2, When the World Becomes Undone, is one of the best tracks on the album in my opinion. I feel like, see, now here's the thing. I don't listen to a lot of doom metal, okay? Gonna admit that right out the gate. This is like gothic doom metal is how it's labeled. I don't listen to a lot, but the stuff I do listen to, this doesn't really translate well in that regard. Track number 2, however, the title track, for me, was one of the songs on this album that did kind of evoke that feeling that I normally get from that genre of music. The other track that I liked, and I actually probably like this track a little better, and this is a admiration that grew throughout the week, where every time I listened to this song it grew more and more and more, is Dreams of the End, which is the last song before the closer track. I felt like this is the only track on the album, aside from title track, that has the doom feel. Every other song I felt just sounded like alternative grunge, which I know is, I guess, slightly related. They're like cousin genres, so I can see the resemblance. But there's one thing that every track lacked, except for those 2 tracks I mentioned, that I feel like this genre has to have in order to be successful, and it's emotion. I feel like if you listen to like My Dying Bride, or if you listen to Woods of Ypres, you're gonna get emotion in the music. And that's what doom metal is about. It's about evoking the deep, dark sadnesses and depressions and getting it out there. And it's about feeling that and relating to that and whatever else, right? This, I felt, lacked that. And that's obviously my opinion. This is all subjective stuff. But it was just hard for me to really appreciate the album for what it's supposed to be when I wasn't getting the feelings I feel like I was supposed to have. How about you?
Well, this album, I have similar feelings to you. This album's alright. I feel during our first impressions, I think we were both a little bit harsh on this album. We were both kind of slamming it like, oh, it's annoying, it drags, it's this, it's that. But the more I listened to it throughout the week, I felt it was very tolerable. You know, last week, one of my gripes was the constant guitar slides, which I counted, there were about 13-ish. Which is really not that many considering how many tracks there are.
There's 13 tracks, but 4 of them are interlude tracks, so you're averaging more than one per song.
You're averaging more than one per song, so it's annoying, and I felt that they all sounded exactly the same, but at the same time, the songs, like, overall, I didn't really mind them too much, and I felt this album was really great as, like, a background kind of
For background, music. It was cool.
It was, yeah.
It was definitely chill, groovy, whatever.
There weren't really any specific tracks that really stood out to me. You know, I agree with you about how the title track and the second last track both have the elements of doom metal in there, whereas the bulk of them don't. But at the same time, when I listened to this album for the purpose, like, what if I listened to this thinking of it like it is an alternative, like that is what they're going for, then I can kind of appreciate it better.
Yeah.
But the fact that they're going for doom metal, and that's kind of the story of the album, that's supposed to just be sad, depressing stuff, but it doesn't really feel that way.
Yeah.
It kind of hurts the intentions.
It does, yeah.
And, you know, the 4 interlude tracks, the only one that really felt tolerable for me was Succumbing to the Event Horizon, which is what, track number 5?
Yeah.
That track, I love that track. Every time it comes on, I just stop and just think. I love the ambience in this track. I feel it's a fantastic interlude. The only one, like every single other one I would skip unless I'm forcing myself, okay, I'll listen to the whole thing. And
I'm gonna be honest, I was getting so annoyed with the interlude track and how they were breaking up the music, whether I was listening to it straight through from beginning to end or shuffling it. Every time they came on, I felt like I was like, oh, now I gotta sit through 2 minutes of this. I got to the point where I deleted them. I got rid of them And you know what? It made the album better. It did. They shouldn't be there. I mean, I get the creativity behind it, and I get the purpose behind them and stuff like that, but there's too many and they're too long. And they're uninteresting. Like the one, The Woods, I think it's called The Woods.
Yeah, that one done.
You just hear footsteps and whining and crying and chanting and stuff like that.
That's it.
I'll hear that once and think, okay, that's not bad, but if you gotta hear that every time you listen to the album, it just, there's nothing interesting about it really.
Yeah, that song was an auto skip for me. Like I said, Succumbing to the Event Horizon was short at 1:25.
Yeah.
And it was musical. It wasn't just like footsteps and yelling or just someone crying. It was something that actually felt like it would bridge the gap between songs.
It was definitely the most tolerable of the four, but I still deleted it.
And I really like the reverse guitar technique that they used in it as well. I think it sounds really cool. But yeah, it's...
Were there any songs that you thought were that you got sick of, that were just kind of bad?
No, everything was just kind of alright, you know? It just kind of just went. Like, this album, I couldn't attach myself to, it didn't grab me like how you described for you.
Yeah.
But at the same time, there wasn't any song where I'm like, oh, fuck this one, unless it was one of the interludes.
Yeah, for me, I don't know why, but track number 4, Fell in My Hole, which sounds dirty to say. But yeah, that track, for whatever reason, was annoying me. I was just like, this is a shitty track. I don't know why.
I didn't mind that one.
It just, maybe it was the chorus, or maybe, in my notes here I wrote that the vocals were possibly sharp. I never really actually paid too much attention to that while listening to it throughout the week, but maybe that's why it just, for some reason, gives me a salty taste. But yeah, I don't know.
If anything, Love the Ones You Hate kind of annoyed me, because when you showed me that Orgy song that was comparable, it just ruined this song for me. This song is just,
And there wasn't a single time where that song didn't come on where I didn't think of Blue Monday, immediately. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about, listen to Blue Monday by Orgy, and then listen to Love the Ones You Hate by A Pale Horse Named Death, and you'll see the resemblance. They're not obviously exactly verbatim, but they are very similar.
You'll understand when you check them both out.
Yeah.
One thing I did was I checked out the previous album before this one called Lay My Soul to Waste by this band, and one of the biggest differences that I felt that previous album had up against this one was differences with the vocals. I feel like this, When the World Becomes Undone, this album barely had any difference with vocals. It was the same, inflection over and over, barely any variance.
Yeah.
The other album has screams, it has a little bit of growls, it just feels a lot more volatile vocally, and it takes you on more of an emotional venture to this one, which is just kind of flatlining the whole time.
And in that sense, it probably suits the doom metal genre a lot more rather than an alternative grunge type of vibe.
Yeah, atmospherically, you'll hear that in doom metal.
Good.
A lot of kind of screeching, just...
Yeah, because it's emotion. They're putting emotion into the music.
Exactly. So,
I just didn't get that with this, and that was the biggest disappointment for me overall.
Yeah, the vocals really did not help this album.
But yeah, what do you say we get to the ratings?
All right. So I guess I'll rate it first.
Go ahead.
This album, like I said, was just all right because I don't think it was bad. I think it was listenable. It's not like I'd put it on and just immediately hate it and want to turn it off. That being said, it didn't really grab me, but I could appreciate the musicianship. There were some cool solos here and there, etc. So this gets a 5.5 from me because it was not that bad, but not really that great. So I can still give it that respect. How about you?
5.5, not bad. I agree. This album's tolerable. It's good if you want to, put it on in the background. It's good, just for chilling out or whatever. But as far as anything that kind of jumps out at you or impresses you or things that you can really comment on and praise about it, it's basically very slim pickings. For that reason, really, I don't even think this is a middle of the pack album. Although there is stuff I like, so I'm not gonna give it a horrid score, but the best I feel like I can give this album is a 4. I wish I can give it a higher. I wanted to like the album, I really wanted to dig this. I was into it when you guys voted for us to do this album. I was into it, I really wanted to like it, but it just didn't tick the boxes for me. So 4 for me, 5.5 for TV Fish. That's gonna be it for this video, guys, so let us know in the comments below. If you guys agree with our scores, let us know if you guys like the albums, tracks you liked, tracks you didn't like, yada yada yada. Comments below, like the video if you liked it, subscribe if you guys are new to the channel. We always got metal content coming for you guys. I'm Vile Self.
I'm TV Fish.
We'll see you guys very soon.